Hello, and welcome to a quick video on how the graphs work inside of ScenariosX. My name is Chad Blythe, and I'm founder and CEO of Plan Tech Hub, and we make a software called ScenariosX, of which I'm the main designer. So it's my pleasure to take you through and to go into the system and see how it works. I'm going to start by logging into the system, clicking on the login button on our main page here. And then I go in, I'm going to go into our support account, help@plantechhub.com. And I'm going to use a pass key. In this particular case, my pass key is my fingerprint. This makes it so that I have very fast as well as secure access to the system. Automatically takes me to a page called Dashboard. Now, here on the dashboard, we're not going to have any graphs. There's no graphs. The only graphs that we have are inside the actual households themselves. So what I'm going to do is go into our most patriotic clients, George and Martha Washington. And first, we're going to go into their profile, which is also their current plan. And it's the very first time that we see a graph. Now, this graph is the net worth and expense comparison. So what we have here is a graph where we're looking at the expenses that we need or have projected that we need throughout the financial plan. Those are the bars. We can see with the non-filling into the bar, kind of starting in year 91, I think, or age 91, we're not completing 100% of the plan. So we can see from the white that we only have a little bit in here that's not being completed. That represents, the green represents 88%. So this represents our funding rate out of every dollar we needed. We got 88 cents for metric is running a Monte Carlo simulation, and that's a success rate at 34% probability of success. Now, going back to graphs, the very first thing I like to point out is that the graphs are interactive to a degree, meaning that we built them custom ourselves. We didn't use a graph package. And one of the reasons why is that what I want is for you to be able to click on it and hover over top, click on a year. And as you can see, then the key fills out over on the left-hand side. So the expense funded, we have the number there. We have what our net worth is at that particular time at ages 79 and 78, respectively. Now, this isn't the only graph. It just so happens that on the profile page, our graphs are kind of set, but we can look at just kind of a net worth breakdown, which is looking at our real assets, investments, and debt. We can look at a cash flow breakdown, and we're seeing how much is coming in as well as how much is going out. Again, I can click on any given year so I can see exactly what the numbers are: income, distributions, insurance, and exactly what's going out in terms of our expenses, elections, and taxes. So again, there are many different types of graphs to choose from. I could also just simply look at expenses by themselves or look at the net worth by itself if I want to. But this is just the very high level of what graphs can do inside of our system. What I'm going to do is go to another one of my client engagement pages, which are really the only pages that have graphs in here. Now, actually, before I do that, just let me point out that graphs are also here on each one of the inputs. So when I go in to look at my goals and the goals that I've inputted, I have a graph here. Again, the graph is interactive. We can click on it to get exact detailed numbers here. And one of the reasons why we have graphs here is that in case we were to kind of fat finger our inputs, we have the ability to visually see the mistake, which is a lot easier than going in and looking at tables of numbers. So whether we're talking about our goals, whether we're talking about putting in investments, again, we have the ability to kind of see what they look like throughout time. Now, the investment detail is looking at the value of these assets throughout time, and that's after the plan is being projected. We're seeing what it looks like throughout the projection of the plan. But we can also do the same thing on additions to savings. We've only got 1 year of additions because we're getting ready to retire. Our investment distribution detail, or how we are spending the money, or how the money is being taken out of those investments throughout time as well. So a lot of different types of graphs. I think there's probably, somewhere between a dozen and 2 dozen graphs for you to choose from. And they really are kind of here to not just be a visual, not just something we can speak to, but again, because we can click on it and get details, it prevents us from having to go into the details button and going into really hardcore details. Again, this is great that it's here. It's great that it's here for you as an advisor so you can see the details of the information, but it's really more here for an advisor, or it's here to answer a very specific question. And otherwise, we're not really going to go in and care about this much detail. That's, again, one of the reasons why the graphs are interactive. So we're looking at investments. What I'm going to do is just go ahead and click back here. So whether we're talking about our income, taxes, expenses, our debt, real estate. All of these have their own graphs in here to give you a visual representation of the inputs. So let's go here to up to engage. You remember, we're always either building the plan or engaging the client or customizing the process. But let's go to our engagement modules, which are designed to work directly with the client. And let's go with the very first one that I designed. Again, if I'm working with someone like my dad, I want him to be able to log in, see the system, interact with it, but I don't want to give him a big world to explore, which is why I'm just only sharing with him maybe this particular page. So when I come here, again, we have more graphs. I'm defaulting here with net worth comparison, but I also have the ability, you'll see here that I have a compare to current plan. So if I click on this, I'm seeing in the dark what my current plan was, and then I'm seeing with my suggested actions that I have a much better amount. And if I were to come over here, and my net worth in my current plan was about 1.5 million at the end of the plan, but 5.6 million with suggested actions. Not all graphs have the ability to compare side by side. Obviously with kind of an expense one here, we can compare, but say we're kind of getting into a lot of detail here, such as our investment distribution. And we tried this, it looks very, very chaotic to try to have it as an expense comparison. So we don't have that comparison button here, but again, you still can click on it and we can see the individual values here, keeping us from having to go into the details. One of the things I want to point out before we finish here today is that you do have the ability to customize, of course, what graphs show up on this page. So our main modules, such as suggested actions, the workshop, the plan comparison, those I can go into customize, I can go into module options, and I can, any one of those pages here, whether it be, let's say we're going to go into suggested actions. These are the graphs that are in suggested actions. If I want to take some away or add some more of them, I just simply click on this area and I can add a graph. So if I want to add kind of a cash flow breakdown, I can. If I want to go and add a secured debt graph, I can. And of course, I can move them to be whatever order I want them to be inside the system. And then as always, whenever you add something, you always have a little trash can here, and we can easily delete it. And all we're doing is deleting it from this particular module right now. Very easy, just simply to add it back if we want to. That's one way we can customize it. Another way that we customize the graphs too is via the colors. So under the colors tab here in customize, notice here that the very first option is graph, and we have color sets. So we have our first color set green, second color set blue. You don't have to match the colors. They don't have to be similar like that. Just like we saw the net worth and we saw two different colors with and without actions. That's the reason why they're kind of paired with each other. But again, you can make them however you like. You can put in whatever colors you want. Most advisors that do customize the colors, the theme, and the metrics of the system will customize the graphs too to match kind of what their websites look like. And of course, when you customize colors, you can pick just random colors if you want to, or choose the colors, or you can put in an actual hex code so that it can match your website specifically, or whatever it is you're trying to match very specifically in there. So that's one way to customize. The other way is that, let's say that we go into our scenarios page. And into our scenarios page, where we have the ability to create a bunch of different scenarios. Here we have the ability also to customize graphs. So right now I'm in recommendations, and if I wanted to go into any particular module, I can go to options, and inside options, you'll notice that there is a scenario specific graphs. Here is where I can choose what graphs show up for this particular scenario. So what this means is that if I have this kind of, if I'm using this scenario and I'm allowing the client to see it inside of their workshop, or say that it's available in reports or something, I can actually choose what graphs show up, and they can be different graphs. Even though the workshop module, you have the ability to set under customization the default graphs that default there. Again, I can override those with the scenario specific graphs here. And again, we access those here under options. And we do the same thing with metrics, and you can see that in the metrics video. But again, we have the ability to edit what graphs are associated with this particular scenario. So it's allowing us just to make it very specific to who we're talking to. Well, thanks for joining me here for this video today. And again, if you haven't checked out a free trial of ScenariosX, please do so at our website here at ScenariosX.com or PlanTechHub.com. And you can click on a free trial for 2 weeks. If you need more time, definitely give us a call here at support, or give us a chat, or shoot us an email. We'd be more than happy not only just to extend your time, but to go over whatever type of questions you have. And of course, check out more of our videos that we have on our YouTube page, where you can see more information, or where you probably are even looking at this graph here or looking at this video. But as you saw there, we have many other video software. We hope you join us soon. Thank you.